It's Carrie with FlossBossStitches, joined today by Brewer. Hi, Brewer. Hi. You in? Okay.
And Allison.
So we have two special guests today. I have Allison on so that she can show you some of the things that she's been working on because, you know, it's all about the next generation.
Okay, my first whip is something that I've been making for my grandma for a while. I've had it for a couple of years now. I got it from a Dimensions kit called Poppies. I'm almost done. I just have to finish the little swirls around and do some back stitching around the blue part. But I'm almost done.
Yeah, that'll make a great gift. Grandma loves gardening and flowers, so that'll be good.
This one right here I've had for a really long time. And it is supposed to be a Mockingjay from Hunger Games. I've got quite a bit to do, but it's coming along. And my favorite one, I just started a couple of weeks ago, is a princess. It is Rapunzel. She is one of my favorite princesses. I kind of messed up a little bit. It's supposed to go deeper and make a V, but I didn't feel like redoing it, so I just moved on to the top part of her dress. And I'm done with her dress. I just have to do her head and hair and everything else, and it'll come out really good.
Sorry. Brewer wants to help.
And I have a stash, only one, but I got this from when my mom went to Alaska with my grandparents, and she brought it back. I haven't started it yet, as you can see, but maybe once I get done with all these other ones, I'll start this one and hopefully finish it.
Yeah, that's an ornament. It can be made into like a pillow ornament, so have to get that done in time for Christmas. Brewer, what are you working on? Are you working on Cassie? Yeah? Okay. Well, hopefully we'll have Allison on a lot more and she'll get stitchy with it. She's getting stitchy with it. So yeah, she's got a few projects going. Oh, and Brewer lost his passy, so she will take him. Okay, my special guests have gone off in the other room to play, but I am still left with these special guests, Peter, Hook, Nana, Tinkerbell, and the gang over here. That's Brewer's contribution to today's episode. Before I get into anything, I need to mention that last week I was a little confused on who Kate from No Name Needle Minders on Facebook and Katie, the admin of Stitch Mania, who is also the Stash Queen, and Kate is the Queen of Starts on FlossTube. I was basically saying they were the same person in my video, and in some weird part of my brain, I thought they were the same person. Laurel commented on the video just to help me out and mention that they're not. And when I put everything together, I know they're not because I watched both their floss tubes. So I'm not sure what happened because I was having some weird confusion, but we'll just leave it at that because I can't even explain it. But they're not the same person, and I realize. So Kate, Queen of Starts, No Name Needle Minders. Katie, admin to Stitch Mania, the Stash Queen. Okay. I also was talking last week about how sals make me feel like a little guilty because I don't feel like I should be buying that frosted pumpkin sal and the Lakeside sal, the fantasy one. And Frosted Pumpkin has so many, and at Clouds Factory, which I already love Clouds Factory and have several of the Harry Potter patterns. So I did go back on Stitch Mania and look in the events, and there are a lot of sals that are just stitch whatever you've got, but we'll have a little theme, like Mellow Yellow was one that was recent and I've heard about in other people's videos. And on September 1st for the Hogwarts Express, there was a Harry Potter stitch along and everyone just stitched whatever they had if they wanted to participate. So right now for the month of September in Stitch Mania, it is imagination themed. So I am doing a sal, and it is the start of Peter Pan. I showed this last week, the Leisure Arts Classic Disney Home Collection. And here's Peter and Wendy. And I mentioned last week that I had this in the past and started, and I had Wendy's dress started, and I lost it somehow. I only looked for it kind of recent. I mean, we're talking like 15 years ago is when I had it, and I figured it would probably be in the closet still somewhere, but I can't find it. So I bought this book on eBay and I started Peter. And there is his hat and his shoulder where his arm will extend out the window here. Also notice this is 14 count Aida. It's like salmon color. It's some of my select irregulars getting put to use. And look what I did. I pulled out the sewing machine and did a zigzag stitch around just so it wouldn't fray, because I'm trying to be a good girl and make my pieces nicer and easier to finish, because I have a problem with the final finish, the nice, you know, being able to frame it or something, because I get off. Also, I counted very carefully before I started, so that piece is going to be very close, but it is the size of the piece that they say they stitched it on. Now let's make sure, like, let's hope that I didn't put Peter too far to this. So let's hope that it's the right size. Given that there is a sale to participate in, and I don't have to be a weirdo on the playground staring at everyone behind the tree to enjoy a sale, I want to, this week, make it Peter Pan week for me, because I do love some Peter. This is a pattern off of my Etsy shop. It's just Peter Pan. So I would like to offer this for free this week. If you go to my Etsy shop, FlossBossStitches, and message me with an email address, I will send this to you to download this week so that I can see some more Peter Pan out there, because I love my boy. So just go and message me from the Etsy shop and I will email it to whatever address you give me. I would love to see it. And I'm also on Instagram as FlossBossStitches, so I'd love to see progress there if it happens. All right, Peter, enough from you. Another start this week with Miss Elsa needle minding for us is the Advent Animals. This is Rascal Raccoon, which I believe he is number 15. And that's just something I know people with a lot of OCD would probably hate, doing them out of order. But I'm not doing a wall hanging. They're going to be individual ornaments. So it's not like I'm randomly all over the Aida or the cloth that I've used. And I like him. He's cute. And I say Rascal all the time. So I wanted to do him first. It's a little hard to see, but you see in the middle of the cookie jar, the glitter. I showed the Krennic last week. I'm going to try to bling these things out. So I put some gold in his shirt, and this row here is already crossed, and these are already crossed. So it still reads as red. It doesn't feel like it's kind of changing the pattern and making it look different. It's just glittery, and I put in the cookie jar red, I also put some gold, blending Krennic, and in silver here. I think I'm gonna actually go online and try to order some more colors, because Joanne doesn't have anything that I don't already have. Basically the 3 colors and the white with a few different weights, at least here. So I'm gonna try to order a few more colors that I could put on other designs. I think he's pretty blingy. And then his snow, of course, I got a thicker, it's not a blending filament, it's like a more of a thicker rope in the white to do the snowflakes. So I've got Rascal Raccoon. I was hoping to have him done and maybe even turn into an ornament and more started, but last Friday in Stitch Mania, I posted a picture of me and Brewer excited because it was Friday and Mommy's gonna get to stitch on the weekend with Allison home and Daddy home. But Daddy threw out his back because Brewer is a bruiser and he was throwing him in the air and hurt his back, so he was kind of out of commission all day Saturday. And Allison had a big swim meet and was gone all day. Like, she left at 6:30 in the morning and then she had to work after, so she came home at like 10 o'clock at night. Cue the wah, wah, wah music for me. I don't think I got one stitch in last Saturday. Sunday I did a little and I got some in since then, but not what I was really planning. So hopefully next week, you know, this weekend will go as planned, and then a little bit throughout the week, and I'll have Rascal done and maybe even a few more, because I think I'm gonna have these done in time for Christmas, right? All 25. Plus I have other starts and stuff I'm working on, so I'm gonna have to get on it. So hopefully you'll see him finish next week. I'm just doing them on the Selector Regular. It kind of looks bluey, like very pale, pale blue, just enough to not make it look white, and it is 14 count. I showed you this. This is an old WIP. I'm almost done with it. Actually, it's not an old WIP. It's like 2 weeks old. But it's my last Lizzie Kate Flip It month stamp, February, which I mentioned, I think in my first video, that I have had them all done for like 6 years. I bought these all 6 years ago at my LNS, and they've all been done. I did them within just a few months, just after work and whatever, playfully, and whipped them out. And something about February's design, I know one problem was I didn't have one of the flosses that I needed, but really I live at Joann's, so and it's right next to Barnes & Noble, the other place that we live. So I had some block. All I have left to do is cross over the rest of the Y here and these few edges of the stamp, and I need to put the buttons in the middle of the flowers. That was a really cute piece of these patterns, was that they all had little buttons. So then February will be done and in the bag and ready, because I switch them out in that frame that I showed y'all every month, and she'll be done. That will just take a few minutes, hopefully. I was gonna finish it before the video, but I lost my needle, because apparently, even though I just got new needle minders, my first needle minders ever, it's not enough. I hope someone doesn't find that needle in an unfortunate way. Okay. And I have a little finish to show you. It's my buzz ears. Okay. Whoops, sorry. It's my buzz ears. This is a pattern from my shop, FlossBossStitches on Etsy. I love Disney, so, you know, even if my shop flops, it will be a good investment getting the software to do these so that I can just have something to do myself. I love how the foot turned out with Andy's name on it. And I like the chest piece that is Buzz. You remember that last week my husband, I showed it to him and it was pretty close to done. I just had some white to go. And my husband said, oh, well, you know, I can barely see that because it's white on white. Okay, first of all, that's not white. It's antique white Ada. And second of all, it's not backstitched yet. Backstitch makes everything better. Yeah, That's right. My next one I'm gonna do is Woody next to Buzz. I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just fill up this piece of Ada. It's 18 count. I'm gonna fill it up just with ears, and I think I can get at least 4 across and 3 down, so 12 pairs, unless when I unroll this it might even fit 16, so we'll see. But I'm sure I could frame this in any one of my kids / my own house walls. Would be glad to have it. We are a very Disneyed up group of people. Okay. And I have a little bit of more stash that I have not shown. Oops. I have this kit. I got it at Hobby Lobby years ago. I actually got it at the same time that I got my holiday chairs, which you'll notice the absence of holiday summer chair. I have not put any stitches in it, but last weekend I really was planning on it. So it is still a WIP. It's still in rotation, my unofficial rotation, and I definitely want to have some progress to show next week. But I got this kit at that same time. It's Footprints, and I got this with a certain friend in mind as a gift. So we'll see. Got that shopping with my sister. And then this little beauty is a wizard, Creative Accents. My niece gave this to me for Christmas a few years ago. She's actually 25, and I'm sure she gave it to me before she was 15. So when I say a few years ago, 12 years ago? And I don't really like the design. She got it for me because we all love Harry Potter. And back then, you know, all the movies and books weren't even out, not even the books, by quite a bit. So she got it for me then because of that aspect. But to me, this doesn't even, I mean, it's a wizard, but I don't know. I'm not sure I'm gonna ever make this. Maybe I can persuade Allison to stitch it, or possibly Gabriel one day. I should give it back to my niece now and make her stitch it, because she can stitch. She prefers crocheting, but make her do it. So I've got this guy. And now for my mega. I was really hoping to have at least one page done. That might have been naive of me to think that I could do that. But I was hoping to have at least enough done so it's a recognizable piece, and that did not happen. Again, I didn't get to stitch last weekend, like hardly at all, and that's when I would have really thought that I could put in 5 hours a day at least of stitching with my husband home and my daughter home, and neither one of them were available. So I guess I'll show it. I did make a Q-snap guard. Again, behaving and trying to do things right. Back in the day, I made the Harry Potter alphabet from Clouds Factory, and I did not use a guard, and I used a quilting frame, so it was very tight and like mauled the Ada up, and also it had like a grimy mark around, and I would wash my hands before I did it, but it doesn't matter. It had like a grimy mark around Albus. And that only took me like 2 months to do, so imagine a mega. Like, this thing will get filthy. At least at its full coverage, it'll be covered up. So I did make the grime guard, and I ordered a Q-snap. It got delivered the last day that I did a video, so it wasn't here yet in time for the video. Needle minders, Tiana, Bayou Beauty, and Green Julie, and those are all from No Name Needle Minders, like I mentioned last week. I even gridded enough for the first page, which again, doing all these steps for me is like a big accomplishment, because I would just want to jump in and then be stitching, and like 4 pages in realize that I was going to go off the side and have to pitch it. So yay for me, I did this, and it's like all rolled up and inside the Q-snap instead of hanging out crazy and fraying everywhere. But it doesn't look like anything. Also, my parking, I did okay parking, but then you see I was a big old cheater and just started stitching over here because there was a lot of the same color here, and there's like a good amount of the same color here. Also, when I started down here, I had in mind that I might be able to get something on there that would be recognizable, because I wanted to show it and then have people say, "Ooh, I know that one, I've seen it," because I did get it from Etsy. I got it from the same shop that I got my Rapunzel stained glass from. It's from Dumici. And I've seen a few people on Instagram with it, and I can't remember if they're Stitch Mania as well. But I would be very interested to see what this baby looks like even close to done. Or not even close, just enough to see what some of these panels look like. This is my mega. It's 500 stitches by 350. So by far my biggest ever. And look, you know that's my favorite piece. Peter. I love this design. I love the thought of it. The person I saw stitching so much has pretty much done all of the Maleficent panel. So I would love to see if anybody else has more progress done on this or different spots, but this is my mega, and I'm starting in the middle. Right now, the side where I started, it actually is like this. On the page map, this would be the top. So I've started with like the Donald corner. Oh wait, no, lying. This is the top. Mickey and Minnie face correctly, and I have started, oh my gosh, who knows what I have done? Huh. Maybe I'm just kind of stitching it. What the heck? Because I think that, oh no, okay, I'm sorry. Top corner right here. Like my page that I started is like right here. And it actually holds most of this, so I guess I've started like right around here. But I was hoping to have at least this middle part done, and when I skipped down to that brown that I showed you, it was the top of Mickey's ears, or like the separation between Mickey and Minnie's ears. This would be. So I was hoping to get a little bit at least to show, but didn't happen. I'm doing that on 28 count even weave, MCG textiles, because it's just what Joann's had, and Brewer doesn't always like to be in the store, so I didn't, and I'm not that familiar with like anything that I could buy by the yard. And the staff there at the time had no idea about anything. I could have said Ada cloth and they wouldn't have known. So if I would have been asking about Joblin or Belfast or something, which linens can I cross stitch on? Is it just normal linen off the like outfit rack or what? They wouldn't have been able to probably help me much. So I just picked that up, and we'll see if I can get some of this done. It looks cool. I have even considered just doing on some Ada, like taking just pieces. Like these panels that go all around the middle, the shell-shaped ones, I love those. So I could just stitch that without this whole piece. I mean, it wouldn't be as cool, but we'll see what happens if this guy gets any further. I mean, I know it'll get further, but I keep telling myself when I'm looking at it thinking, what the heck? How do people do heaven and earth designs? I just keep thinking very early stages, haven't had a lot of time to stitch on it, get a page in and it will feel better and it will actually look like something. So hard to make it look like something when it's confetti. So these pictures also from that Dumici are not really that clear, and you know, I guess the further out it kind of does look more clear, but I mean, I know that they wouldn't want it too clear. I mean, they don't want it to look like the pattern, but I don't know. It's also a pretty big image. Maybe it's hard to get the proper resolution. But that's my mega, so I have high hopes for that. All right, so next week, look for more done on Peter. Rascal should be done and probably have a few friends and a start. I'm gonna throw it out there because those are really quick to stitch. I only worked on Rascal like not long at all. So if I just make sure I get my normal stitching time in this week, I should be able to have some serious Brooks Books Advent Animal credibility going on by next week. And Mega, I hope this Mega can move along a little bit. February obviously will be done. And I don't know, we'll see about Woody and the ears, we'll see. And make sure that you all go over to my Etsy shop, FlossBossStitches, and just message me and I will email this to whatever email address that you give me. And then I want to see it because I love Peter Pan. Love, love, love. Also, if anybody has not started watching Finn Stitcher, F-I-N-N Stitcher, you need to check her out. She is so hilarious. She's got now her 4th video up. She is funny. I'm loving her. So that's my plug for another channel. She's funny. So go check out Finn Stitcher. Have a good stitchy week. And I want to see some Peter Pan happening on Instagram or Stitch Mania. If you have other Peter Pan patterns, make it happen because he's like my crush right now. Always, but definitely right now with all this stitching. Have a good week, everyone. See ya.